What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Legends video. My name is DFree. Here today we are talking about some of the information that we have as it pertains to the upcoming first anniversary. The confirmed anniversary date is the 31st, which is about 390 days of login for the people in the Netherlands. So it's been a while. The game's been out for quite a while now in some areas. But regardless, we're going to talk about exactly what we have as of now, which is not admittedly a whole lot, but we'll kind of just talk about it. And I'll come back in a couple of days when we get a little bit more details as we get closer to the end of the month and the beginning of the campaign / celebration. So the first thing that we have here is the new Battle Version 2 announcement that is live in the game. They say, thank you for your continued support of Legends. We are currently preparing a variety of new and exciting battle content for your enjoyment. In this future Battle Version 2 quote-unquote update, we plan to take battles to the next level and to resolve existing balance issues currently affecting gameplay. Keep an eye out for this update. So this is not, but I can't say definitively, but it's like I'm 99% sure it's not anything other than them just manipulating the way that the battles are held, right? That line right there where they say, oh, a variety of new and exciting battle content, like that kind of sounds like a new gameplay mode or something like that. I think it's probably a little too soon after Space Time Rush, which maybe you guys play that, maybe you don't. I personally don't. It's just too tedious. But regardless, it does kind of sound like a new mode. That is not what they're doing here, but I wouldn't take off the table something like that coming out in the future as far as like part of this campaign or a little bit after, whatever the case is. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, largely what they're talking about, though, is exactly what's listed here. A new way to manipulate battles. Basically, they're changing the way that battles are held, and they do also tag in a video. Again, it's not a new mode. That's just my own little conjecture, right? So we have that, and we have some supplemental information here. Battle Version 2 is coming. Use the new mid-range action called Tackle to attack and combo into arts cards. Changes to combo damage, draw system, and more coming in this battle update. Get ready for the next level of combat in Battle Version 2. So before we look at the video and kind of go over that, again, they are mentioning that they're bringing in a new mechanic called Tackle, and they say that there's a variety of new stuff. I don't know if that literally means just Tackle and all these other balance changes, but it probably will have a couple of different new features. So one of the things I want to talk about really quick before we get into this is if you played the beta, you know there's a couple of, at least 2 or 3 things that were in the beta a year ago, literally a year and a half ago almost, that were just not and still are not in the final product of this game. For example, one of the things that I really hate is when you go to the Soul Boost area, you have to click all 60 or so of those nodes individually. In the beta, if I recall, you could just go to the far end, it'll highlight all the ones in between, and you'd be good. So other than that, one thing that I'm for certain was in the game, because I remember like wondering how to figure it out and how to do it, was blocking. So blocking was in the base beta game, and what happened was it got removed. So blocking worked in the beta 100% RNG based. I don't know if there was a stat that was able to trigger it, but as far as I could tell, it was RNG based. And there was also a pre-battle slide, you know, when you go into the battle, the grade page that shows you all the little tips and stuff. There was one for blocking as well that said it happened randomly. So what would happen is you would have basically a random chance and your character would block the hit and you'd be fine, right? I remember that I was playing Rhyme one day, Rhyme style. And we were just like, wait, did your character just block? We were like, wait, yeah, you can block. It's such a random thing. And I go to Twitter and I ask, and it's like, oh, blocking is random. And it's just, yeah, so that's not in the game. I would like to see blocking come in some fashion. It doesn't have to be a random thing, but just in the future, it just would add more depth. You could maybe give them a blocking meter or something like that. But again, back to Tackle, I do think that they're going to implement several things like Tackle, potentially block, potentially other little things that we haven't had in the game to add more depth to the fighting system. So we're going to take a look at the video, and I'll come back and talk about the combo changes and stuff. So right here is the actual Tackle, right there. And Vegeta's going to do it back here right now, actually. Right after here, Vegeta's next chance, he does a Tackle. Right there. So the rest of that is kind of standard stuff. The Goku starts off with a green card. That's pretty normal. He runs in and does a Tackle. The thing about the Tackle is, you see this animation right here. He goes in. It's a mid-range attack, as they mention. the character dashes in. I don't know if they intentionally tried to do it this way, because if Vegeta starts trying to trigger a blast card, which is in fact the slowest animation you can even do, he should have tried to at least do a strike card to see if they clash. I don't know how this works. We'll have to obviously play with it. But I don't know if it was intentional, but they don't try to dash out of any of this stuff. They just kind of take it all, basically, when it comes to the charges, or the tackles, excuse me. Because even right here, Vegeta does it again to the Goku. Right here, he just goes in and knocks him back. Goku actually, I think right here, tried to sidestep it and get out, actually. Let me see. I think he did it premature. I think it was a little too early. But if he did it on time, it looked like it might have been a split second too early. But if he did it on time, then that would mean you can't vanish out of that, which is actually a very big deal. The reason why is, and I'm actually kind of leaning towards you not being able to vanish out of this because of the way it worked. But that's a big deal because it's chainable, right? You can chain and start a combo off of it. And they mentioned that. Like, you go right from that tackle into an immediate combo, right? And what that does is it makes it to where your opponent is in a position where they're fighting you, of course, and you're able to kind of come back. This is actually really interesting because it might lead to more scenarios where you can beat your opponent. Like, that coupled with some of the other existing baits in the game could be very paramount to making comeback wins or just simply dominating your opponent. And we'll just have to see how that functions, but it does function from the mid-range. So I'm assuming from long-range, stuff like the special moves can cancel it, or the special moves that dash in or whatever, the physical ones, maybe they can cancel it too. Probably some of the barriers like Broly or 17 or whatever the case is might be able to cancel that. Not so sure, but we'll see what happens ultimately with this, and just keep this bookmarked because it's interesting. On a side note, they casually throw in that they're going to add changes to combo damage, draw system, and more coming in the battle system update. So this is probably, I think, this is the second or third time they've manipulated combo damage, the way that the draw system works, and stuff like that. In the very first iteration, you could sidestep and sidestep infinite combos, basically. Some characters with very high key restore speed were really good. Like Blue Pan was really, really good back then if you knew how to use her. And then they nerfed the heck out of that. And then you still were able to do it, and then there was an iteration of like float step, and they nerfed the heck out of that. And now we have what we have now, where basically sidestepping recovers you some vanish, eats a little timer off the clock, and gives you about 3 or 4 key back. You can try charge step. It functions a little differently. But you used to also draw cards a lot faster. They actually manipulated card draw speed and lowered it when you did anything, basically. And then instated card draw levels, in fact. After that, and I made this joke that they took away sidestep to basically sell it back to you, because they did. They took away your draw speed and then made it levels 1 and 2, and then started putting that on cards, or on characters, excuse me, to where they can do that a little quicker. So this could be a very big deal, or it could be a lot of something or a lot of nothing, because like they might, I don't know, hopefully they take feedback from the showdown and kind of the way players are playing so they know exactly what we can do, right? Because maybe they wind up neutering exactly how things are now, and we don't know how this is going to turn out. This could be very good or very bad for people that are able to kind of take advantage of what's in the game. You know, it's not, and if you're somebody that thinks that sidestepping and stuff like that is a glitch or exploit or a hack, it's not. They have endorsed it. They even do it in their videos from time to time. They've endorsed that type of thing, and they have a little guide video that they put out. I believe Kagi was in it, that even mentions the importance of doing that type of stuff. It's not a gimmick or a hack or anything like that. But there is a drawback, because you don't deal. I think you're less likely to get crits or something like that. You don't deal as much damage if you do the sidestepping and stuff. So we'll see, because they mentioned combo damage, draw system, and just all that stuff. That sounds a lot like sidestep to me. We'll see what happens. But one thing I did want to point out is I don't know if you can. I don't know if they changed the animation, but mentioned here, this could be similar to CPU. Because when you play the CPU and you get in on the tail end of their blast, you don't even see them do the key blast cancel animation. I don't think ever. But they're always able to do this snap vanish out. I don't know if they changed key canceling or whatever, but stay tuned for that as well. I don't think there's much else in this video, though. So we do move on. We have the announcement for SSB Goku and Vegeta. So This is awesome to me. Like I'm so happy about that. I was like, we're gonna get SSB Goku and Vegeta. We're definitely getting them before we get Gogeta Blue. I've been saying that for months. A lot of people have, but I also was like, we're gonna get the Resurrection F versions, and we actually are getting the Resurrection F version, which is awesome, man. I love that. So we're getting the Resurrection F versions. Vegeta will come out. They don't actually formally announce Vegeta the same way that they kind of did Goku. They didn't really announce Goku either, to be fair. He was just in the video. But they say the countdown to the first anniversary event begins. We'll be posting details about updates and one of the new characters announced at the World Tournament every day leading up to the anniversary. So there we go. So we have at least these 3 characters confirmed. With Goku and Vegeta ROF versions, that does mean that there's actually, I'd say, probably about an 80% chance that we get Golden Frieza, I think. If not in this banner, Golden Frieza is not too far away. I'm going to say that. I think that's fair. I don't think Golden Frieza is far away. It could be, the anniversary could have 2 banners, 2 parts. We'll see. But I don't think it's too far away. This could be, I don't know if they'll do back-to-back step-ups because they've never done it. But this could be a step-up between these 2 and Vegito. I think that's a very worthy banner. But I also do think that with Vegito, there is a chance that we get more Buu Saga stuff like a Buhan as well. So we might have a dual banner and then another dual banner as well. So, moving on, though, Rising Battle for Vegito. So, if you guys are not familiar with this, long story short, Rising Battle is, if you come over here to the story, and we take a look at the Rising Battle for Broly. So, this is not actually, where is it at? This is not actually live in the game anymore. I needed to come back because I haven't completed it. I forgot about this event. And as you see, there's 100 battles. And you ultimately wind up getting Broly to 7-star. So what they did was they released it in waves. I think at first they did like the first 30 and then another like 20, so on and so forth. They just kept bringing it back and dropping it in waves. So as far, and it's been gone for about a month and a half almost. As far as that's concerned, keep that in mind. That's going to be exactly what they do with Vegito. This Vegito here is a free Vegito. So we're going to take a look here. Thanks for the great first year. Vegito is coming in sparking rarity. Check out this new Potara-fused powerhouse fighter. Rising Battle Vegito is coming soon. Win battles and get Dragon Ball Legends Event 07S Sparking Vegito Z-Power. So Red Sparking Vegito, that's awesome. Base Vegito. This is not to be confused with the Super Saiyan Vegito. They are giving us the same thing that they did with Broly. They gave Wrathful Broly or Fury Broly for free, right? The base Broly almost, not really, but you get it. Wrathful Broly, and then they give out the Super Saiyan Broly. In fact, full power Super Saiyan Broly transforming on the banner. Now, I don't think that Vegito transforms simply because the spoiler that we saw didn't have anything like that. And of course, that would be kind of weird if they give out a base and then there's another base. So we'll see what happens though. But nonetheless, they're giving out base Vegito for free. Super Saiyan Vegito is going to be acquirable from the banner. You will have to summon for him. 4 days left until the anniversary. Strategically challenge new stages as they're released to get event-limited Sparking Vegito. Vegito's powerful main ability can self-heal and inflict no switching. No switching is very good. Self-healing is always nice. You always want self-healing if you can get it, right? Because it just adds to your longevity. And no switching is like nuts. This is nuts. This is one of the things that like makes characters like Brienne so devastating, even though she has other things. When you're in a position where you might accidentally have to switch into a character, you don't want to get rushed or you don't want to get put in a position that's compromising or whatever, but you have to for at least a couple of counts just to kind of defend yourself or whatever the case is, right? He can lock you in there and then you're screwed. Basically, you're screwed for however long that is. And that was always something that was really good. I remember Green Bardock being the meta of the game. Him and Green Goku Instant Transmission were like the meta because you could lock in and then you also could do the cover rescue. And it was nuts, man. So he's going to be really good. And we'll see how good he winds up being as a free 7-star unit. I do want to advise you guys, though, that when it came to this, the Broly event, as it got harder and harder, did require, I don't think... Hopefully there is no, I don't know, I kind of want a level cap increase just so these types of events will be easier for the people that do struggle. But I do remember that I believe there was a bonus character for this. Correct me if I'm mistaken. It's been a while since I've played it, of course. But I do know that the new model of events, at least since this event came out, does include bonus characters like the Cell event and stuff like that. So there's a good chance that this one will too. But the downside is that it probably will include characters that are like fusion characters. And if you don't have those characters, maybe you will struggle. So keep that in mind. Like Gogeta, the blue one, Gogeta Blue, technically Blue Gogeta, he's gonna be really good, right? Super Saiyan Gogeta. if he is one of the bonus characters. So stay tuned for that. 3 days left. We have Shallot here. The main story continues. Anger awakens Shallot to new heights. So Shallot will actually get his SS2 form in the game. We've known that for a while. It was in V-Jump. Not a whole lot to say there. And I did want to kind of take a look at the trailer, or not trailer, but the gameplay for these characters a little bit further, very briefly, for Vegito, Shallot as well, and for the SSB Goku that were in the championships event over in Las Vegas. Shout out to breaking down for the video. So anyways, so we start off here. Vegito instantly has an inflicted damage bonus, and it does appear that maybe when the enemy uses a strike card, in fact, or an arts card, he picks up an inflicted damage bonus, because we see right here, the Goku drifts back. It looks like he starts off with one, but as soon as the Goku instantly tries to use a card, which he's doing now, after Vegito used his, there's another inflicted damage bonus. So it could be either Vegito or the enemy, which is nuts. The timing of that looks weird. But the reason why I say the enemy is because he doesn't pick it up himself on another card right here. So he doesn't pick it up again on the second strike. He also doesn't pick it up here. He doesn't pick it up on the cards unless it's a blast card. We'll have to see if there's another blast card. Yeah, it's the enemy, because Goku did another action and Vegito picked up another inflicted damage bonus right there. It's probably when the enemy uses blast cards, because Goku was using blast cards and Vegito was picking up bonuses. So right here. All right, let's see the Goku. Yep, inflicted. Strike damage as well. Strike damage and inflicted. What the heck? This man is going to be nuts. He gets a lot of bonuses. Yeah, and Shallot seems to be a character that as the battle goes on, he kicks in different buffs. At least one buff was sustained damage cut. I remember that. He's going to pick it in. See right there. He picked it up right there. So there's not a whole lot to say about Shallot, because he actually has probably the worst showing. He actually picked up strike damage as well, too. Right before he switches out, he picked up strike damage again. So I wonder how many counts had elapsed since Shallot entered the battle. How many counts did elapse? So Shallot came in at 172. And then he picks up strike. Okay, so Shallot's in until... So that's about 12 counts. Interesting. That's really quick if that's all it takes. Now, this Goku is nuts, by the way. This Goku is nuts. You know how nuts it is to just vanish, use your main ability, and completely restore your gauge? That's nuts. By the way, Goku seems to have immunity to the... He basically nullifies disadvantaged colors. I'm pretty sure that's what this symbol is. So this is a strike damage bonus. This is, I believe, key recovery. This is inflicted damage. The other one's inflicted, and I'm pretty sure this one right here is nullification for disadvantageous elements. So we could actually, I believe that those icons are in here. If I scroll down, I can actually double check. Element factor, no, we don't want that. Element factor down. Immunity to unfavorable elements is actually the one with the arrow pointing down out of the shield. Okay. So which one does Goku actually have? He has the shield and something pointed down. I'll let you guys kind of check this out, because I don't want to spend too long on this. But regardless, the Goku has an ability similar to that at least. So he's actually pretty solid, man. But regardless, like I was saying, the ability to just vanish and then instantly recover your gauge completely is absolutely bonkers, man, because that has incredible utility. All right. So recovers gauge there. He could have vanished out of that one. All right. So let me see what happens here. Oh, yeah. I think that is nullify. Because he picked, he does have nullify, but it actually kicks in here. It kicks in on ultimate activation. That's the icon for nullify. This one right here it's something to do with defense. Yeah, this is the icon for nullify. Actually, let me double check for defense, just so I know what that is. Strike defense up, blast defense up, strike defense down, blast defense down. Yeah, it's something in here. I'm not trying to spend too long on that, but there is an icon for that, of course, on the status icons page. But Goku does actually pick up this icon right here, the arrow pointing down and the shield. He does actually have nullification. It's right there. So it triggers, and he gets an ultimate damage bonus. So he can come in at your green units and do at least neutral damage. That's actually awesome. And this is nuts. This looks so good. Okay. Inflicted damage and key recovery up. Again, interesting. And Vegito seems like when he enters the battlefield, he gets an inflicted damage bonus because he started off with one, and then when he switched in, he got another one. He picked it right back up. So it seems like when he enters the battlefield, he gets one. It's probably for a set number of counts, or he just keeps it permanently, you know? So Vegito's main ability... Oh, I didn't even catch that. His main ability removes all of their upgrades. Oh my god, look how many upgrades the Gohan had. They all got eliminated. You know how nuts it is to just remove them by clicking a button? Well, to be fair, that's always how it is. But, like, a lot of times you have to use your ultimate. You have to land your ultimate or whatever, right? Or the main abilities removes it from the character, negative ones. But he legit just used the main ability and took all the buffs away. While picking up his own buffs, he picks up a draw speed bonus and recovers ki. And inflicted damage bonus. Absolutely bonkers. Hold on, let me see if he picks up any bonus for the Gohan doing anything. If the Gohan does do anything. I don't think the Gohan gets a chance. No, he doesn't do anything. Okay. This is awesome, man. I love this. So we're actually going to get out of here. Oh, and by the way, he nullifies Enhance because screw regen. Nullifies Endurance, excuse me. So regen, you can't revive. Your Zamasu, he's done. Your Green Vegeta, he's done. Even though he's not regen. So thank you all for tuning in, guys. Enjoyed, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.